intentions. I'm curious if that's comparable to this sort of world, this culture of toxic fandom, where like if you make a movie, especially if you make a superhero movie, like you have great intentions, but there are always going to be a small yet vocal group of people there can kind of just be toxic.
I understand what you're saying, but when it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have. And people are going to be upset because, especially when you're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played on Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate.
Whenever I think of the Netflix Witcher series, only one thought comes to mind. Why and who allowed one of the most beloved and respected fantasy franchises to be treated this way? It honestly felt like a humiliation ritual. Almost as if the show's only purpose was to disrespect the source material and the passionate fans who care about it. If the creators wanted to do everything their own way without respecting the books or the games, why even call it The Witcher? They took everything we loved about the franchise and reduced it to a shallow, agenda-driven imitation. The plot made little to no sense. The writing was among the weakest I've ever seen in a series or film, and the legendary, strong, masculine protagonist was reduced to an unimportant side character in his own story. Even the witty, charming, womanizing poet we all know and love was reduced to insignificant and empty character. One of the most powerful sorceresses in the lore was inexplicably turned into a main character and a swordswoman for absolutely no reason at all. And that's not even touching on all the other characters that were butchered and disrespected. The remaining Witchers and all the characters who were needlessly altered or killed off in ways completely contrary to both the books and the games. The whole show is one big pile of garbage, and I'm genuinely amazed it managed to run for 4 seasons, and on top of that is getting a one more final season. I find that absolutely incredible. What amazes me even more is the enormous budget the series had, despite everything on screen looking cheap and poorly executed. Then there's the irritating arrogance of the showrunners, especially Lauren Schmidt, who seems completely incapable of admitting she did a terrible job. Instead of taking responsibility for the show's failure, she insists it's not her fault, and blames us, the toxic fans as they like to call us. With all that said, the main question we should be asking is this: why was Lauren Schmidt put in charge of developing this series, and how was it allowed to continue for as long as it did? I tried to understand and find logical answers for these questions, but honestly couldn't. We can only hope that this disaster serves as a warning for future major adaptations. This is why I believe that this so-called adaptation, if it can even be called that, felt like a humiliation ritual for all of us who love, enjoy, and appreciate these kinds of stories. Before the first season aired, I was genuinely excited, expecting what was being promoted as the next Game of Thrones. But that feeling disappeared quickly after watching Season 2. At that point, the only thing I could do was start a new playthrough of The Witcher 3. To wash away the memories of the show and, more importantly, remind myself of what makes The Witcher's story so great. It was only when I reached the quest called Novigrad Dreaming that I fully realized how respectful and appreciative The Witcher 3 developers were toward the source material, something completely absent from Netflix's so-called adaptation. The best way to show what I mean is to let you experience the part of the quest, where the developers ensure that players learn more about the relationship between Geralt and Ciri, and about the story as it exists in the books.
A dream in here.
Never witnessed a seance like this before, let alone participated.
I will guide you. You must first achieve a kind of mental accord. I must ask some questions. You must answer them. It's important you're truthful. Answer from your heart.
Your gift. Tell me how it works.
It's hard to describe. To start with, I must gain an understanding of the bond between the person and the object I'm to dream about. I ask questions, try to flesh out feelings, emotions. Truth is essential in this. And though most who come to me acknowledge that, many refuse to speak openly of certain matters. Apart from which, they remain unaware of others, further obscuring things.
What do you see in your dreams?
I don't. It's my client who sees. My gift lies in summoning the right dreams. At times, nightmares or strong desires impose themselves on true events. It takes skill to separate seed from chaff.
Let's begin.
To start with, tell me a memory you have of this woman.
What for?
Do as I ask, please. I need the strongest, most complete memory you have of...
Ciri. The woman's name is Ciri. I accepted a job once. Did it. Asked to choose my reward, I invoked the law of surprise. Never thought I'd actually meet the child promised to me at that time. Years later, I was in the Broccolon forest. Happened on a girl there. Didn't know who she was. The Dryads wanted to keep her, turn her into one of their own. But the Waters of Oblivion, they failed in her case. Ciri came out of Broccolon with me. I sent her back to her grandmother then. But already, I felt bound to her.
By destiny.
By something more.
Thank you. Would you be willing to share another memory?
Yes.
No need to rush. We have time.
Ciri was orphaned during the Second War with Nilfgaard. Had no idea what to do with a young girl. So I did what I would have done with a boy and took her to Kaer Morhen. Figured some physical training, sword work, development of her stamina couldn't hurt. I remember her standing on a crumbling wall. A stone came loose, she lost her footing, caught her at the last possible instant. Strongest memory, though, is of her coming out of her room one day, wearing a dress and claiming she was indisposed. Knew then that Ciri was maturing. It was unavoidable. I was lost in the face of that.
I see. Do you wish to tell me anything more?
Yes, I think so.
In that case, I'm listening.
It was after her time training at Kaer Morhen. After the moment when Yennefer first called Ciri her daughter. We'd been separated. I knew she was in danger. I dreamt of her multiple times. I found her at Stygga Castle. She'd gone there to free Yen and gotten herself captured in the process. They wanted to hurt her. I remember fighting side by side with Ciri on stairs slippery from blood. It was the first time she ever deflected a crossbow bolt with her sword. Told her never to try it again.
These memories, they're intense. Do you wish to continue?
I have more to say.
Then please do.
It was in Rivia. The Second War with Nilfgaard had just ended. There was still tension in the air. For gods know what reason, race riots erupted in the town. I tried to do something, but couldn't stop a riled crowd. A boy with a pitchfork. He ran it right through my gut. Yennefer lay dying as well. Ciri had us carried onto a boat. We sailed to a place where apple trees bloom eternal. She left us there. That was the last time I saw her.
You claim the woman has abilities. Tell me about them.
She's a child of the Elder Blood.
A descendant of bloody Volker. The rebel burned at the stake. The prophecies claim the world's destroyer will be born of the firebrand's cursed blood.
Pure legend.
Know when a legend transforms into prophecy? When it gains believers. I think you're right to be reticent in talking about the woman. I see. Do you wish to say more?
Yeah, there's something else. They call Ciri the Lady of Space and Time. Once I asked Yennefer why. She travels between worlds. Turns out I don't know how to talk about it. Didn't really understand much of what Yen told me. I just know there's more to it than traveling to different places, and that Ciri carries immense power in her blood.
I see. Do you wish to say more?
Yeah, there's something else. I remember Ciri having trouble controlling her abilities. Yennefer tried to teach her to cast simple spells, and Ciri destroyed a shed near the temple where they were. Really upset her, but it was just an old shed. I know it took her a while to gain control, and frankly, I doubt she controls her abilities fully to this day.
I see. Do you wish to say more?
No. Can we start?
Naturally. I knew you cared about her. But your tone, the emotions you so carefully conceal.
Let's continue, please.
Make yourself comfortable and try to relax.
It's clear the developers went above and beyond. They didn't have to add all of this, yet they still delivered an amazing story while staying true to the characters and the lore. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. It really means a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.